Welcome to the family with
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
And Andy Brandt Bernard.
All right, number one thing I got to tell you. So I walked down this morning, Catherine. Are we picking up your car on the way home?
God, yes. Finally.
You are, okay.
Yeah, one tire.
Day 4, 3.
Can't believe
No, 4. Because I had to
Thursday,
take a that was on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had to take an Uber Friday and today to work, so I could.
Very nice, though. By the way, both people did a very nice job. The guy today was really terrific. He was waiting for me on Mill and Superior, but they made him keep moving down the block because they had to do the trash collection.
Oh.
So he was at the other end. He was almost at Promenade.
Oh, nice.
But no, it worked out really, really great. So again, we get to pick up your deal today.
God, I tell you.
I really wish the two people running for president would shut the hell up about each other's physical condition. Trump escalates attacks on Harris's mental fitness and suggests she should be prosecuted. On the other side, you got Bill Maher making fat jokes about Trump. So I thought you weren't supposed to do that stuff anymore. Talk about people's mental fitness and fatness.
Fat shame.
I think that they're starting to get so desperate because the polls are getting closer and closer, and swing states are this and that, and
do everything you can.
And I think that this hurricane is going to maybe do a lot of damage to Kamala.
Oh, you think so? Why?
Because there's been no response. These people,
not much of a response.
Oh my gosh, you could see it was so heartbreaking to see these people begging for help. Grandma and grandpa are on the roof with their 6-year-old grandchild, and they drowned. They died.
Did they really?
They died.
Oh, God.
Everything collapsed. I mean, they were getting no help.
Asheville, it made me tear up this morning because I watched Asheville, North Carolina. It's one of Catherine, my favorite places to go because of the whole Biltmore and all that stuff. And it's just beautiful.
Well, that whole Western North Carolina is just so pretty.
It is absolutely stunningly beautiful, and it is just a mud pit now.
It is. I saw an aerial of the Grand Bohemian.
Oh yeah,
we stayed there once, and it's got the best bar in the world.
It does, no doubt.
Yeah, and I don't know if it flooded completely, but the roads around it were filled with mud, so I'm guessing it's not good.
Yeah, that's so sad to see because, like I said, we've been there like 3 times, have we not?
Yeah,
maybe even more.
I think so.
That's where we got the talking haunted pumpkin for later on next month.
Oh yes,
we got it down at the Asheville shop. So I hope the kids are going to love this. And
we got it at the Biltmore Mansion, didn't we?
Yep,
the gift shop there.
Indeed, it's all.
I'm trying to find somebody. There's a y'all squad or something that helps in emergencies.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, there's a lot of good places, I guess, to donate if you want. Samaritan's Purse is supposed to be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called the Cajun something. I can't remember the name of it. And then there's the Y'all Squad.
Y'all Squad.
They literally get in boats and go and try to find people and give them water and food. And this is kind of a problem with not having cell phones. Certainly, having cell phones being your only emergency line.
That is true.
When you lose cell phone towers, what are you supposed to do?
Very true.
I mean, Wi-Fi wouldn't even help you. Your router's underwater. You're not going to get any. Shouldn't they have some sort of emergency thing that isn't reliant on satellites and towers?
Not a bad call, but I don't know what it would be.
When old-fashioned telephone wires, would that be helpful?
Well, still got them anyway. They're still up.
But I mean, would they work? I mean, telephone lines up in the sky could be knocked down.
If the power's out, odds are the telephone wires are. At least the above ground ones are out too.
And then a lot of people are saying we don't have any electricity, but thank God we have a gas stove so we can boil water.
Yeah.
And if they're going to take away gas stoves, I mean, all of this emergency stuff, people need to start thinking this through, don't they?
Yes, no question.
Especially in certain parts of the world.
Well, North Carolina, the last time it flooded like this is 1916.
I was going to say, I mean, North Carolina is not.
Well, this is a mountainous area, but the French Broad River has flooded because it's very hilly and it's narrow in the bottom of the mountain. So when it does flood, it is pretty devastating.
Right.
It's not unusual for the French Broad River to flood, but this kind of devastation hasn't happened. And I don't even know if this is worse than 1916 or not. I don't know how well documented 1916 flood was, but it does happen there. So, even if you have 100-year floodplain or 100-year flood, area, you should still have something in place for when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no question about that.
And then these people are just sitting there with no help. I mean, this woman I could see the whole thing on Twitter. My parents are on the rooftop with our grandchild, and and they need help. Somebody's got to lift them, and then nobody would hear from them for hours because they didn't have cell phone service. And then you hear like 48 hours. Why did it take so long for anyone to go and find people?
No, Kath and I take a drive down to Florida at least once a year and all the rest of it. I mean, is there any way we could stay at the Biltmore, or is it just shut down for a long period of time?
No, we're not going to know because the communications are so terrible. God. Everything's shut down.
Such a beautiful area. My God, is that area gorgeous.
It is just beautiful.
We have our guest on the line.
Tom's going to love this
Catherine's
one.
all excited about this.
What is it? What are we doing?
Hello, who's on the phone with us? Oh, can't hear me, Andy.
He just hung up, it
would
seem. So I'm going to try calling him
that's
back.
the guest. Thanks for calling in.
Well, he wanted to be on just
call.
for less than 1 second, so that would have been good. All worked out in the end.
This says I'm backstage, but I don't see me.
Andy has to let you in.
Yeah, I'll let you in.
Backstage is not on stage, Mom.
No question about it. So
waiting in the wings.
A lot this morning about Chris Christopherson dying at 88 years old.
I didn't realize he was 88 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Good Lord.
No question about it.
Maggie
Joe
Smith.
Pohlad, what's that?
Maggie Smith, we lost.
Maggie Smith long died.
Maggie
Yep.
Smith.
I'm like, she was never alive.
She's probably
Very
my
true.
favorite character in anything as the grandmother in Downton Abbey. She was hilarious.
Yeah, the Dowager in Downton Abbey and McGonagall in Harry Potter.
McGonagall's how I know her.
Two of just the best roles.
All right. I believe our guest is on now.
Trying again.
Hello.
Hello.
There we
Michael
are.
Bailey.
Hi,
Michael Bailey. We're going to have to kick you off the phone now because you've destroyed the show.
Well, now that you're Twitter famous, X famous.
X famous.
Has your life
X-famous,
changed
yeah.
a lot? Are you now, like rolling in millions of dollars?
Definitely not rolling in millions of dollars, but I have definitely had people come out of the woodworks and be like, what is going on up there?
Oh, I don't even know how I came across the posts about this, but when I saw your signs, I just started laughing and I'm like, Tom has got to talk to this guy because Tom's been very vocal about his disdain for the Pohlads ownership of the Twins for many decades.
You're not alone on that, Tom. Not alone at all.
Okay, how did it start? What happened? How did it start? I like this.
Do you want me to start from the very beginning or just inside the stadium?
Oh, I just think from the very beginning. Don't you think we should start from the very beginning?
Give us the whole story.
Get the whole story.
All right, the whole story. So all week long, I was planning on bringing an anti-Pohlad sign in the target field. All week long, I went on my social media and I even I asked for suggestions if anyone has any good sign ideas or anything. And so I can't take full credit for the actual phrase "defund the Pohlads." A good buddy of mine came up with it, and I'm like, I'm running with it. That is great. That is great.
It is great. It's the best thing I've seen in a week.
So I brought that sign, and I had two other signs that I was trying to bring in. So I had the defund the Pohlad sign, and then on the other side of the defund the Pohlad sign, I wrote "Twins fans matter." And then
see,
and then on a bigger sign, I wrote "Penny pinching Pohlads equaled Twins mediocrity." And on the back of that, I left it blank. And a good thing I left it blank because I needed that blank side.
Okay.
So, anyways, I get off work, I go to Big Target Field. I'm walking up, and my defund the Pohlad sign is showing. I'm about 15, 20 feet from the gate. Security looks at me and he goes, "That ain't coming in." I was like, okay. And I started turning around and he goes, "How about you just give that to me?" I'm like, "Nope, you're not going to take my sign." So then I acted like I was going to the parking garage and I just went to the next gate. So on the way to And so on the way to the next gate, I'm just like, okay, they definitely don't like the anti-Pohlad sign, so I got to do something. So on the back side of the blank side, I still have my Sharpie in my pocket. I do just a generic smiley face.
Oh.
Just a generic smiley face. I'm like, they're going to let me in with a smiley face, right?
Sure.
And so I had my smiley face and my Twin Fans Matter sign just showing back to back. And so I walk up to the next gate. Security guards, oh, what's your sign say? And I showed him the smiley face, and he gave me a smile. He's like, oh, that's nice. He's like, well, what's the other one say? And I'm like, Twin Fans Matter. He's like, well, that's not inappropriate, but I get what you're saying, but it's not inappropriate and not against guidelines. I'm like, cool. And then he's like, well, what does the other sign say?
Uh-oh.
And I showed him the defund the Pohlads and the penny pitching one. And they're like, nope, that's not coming in. And so I'm just like, oh.
What happened to freedom of speech, man?
Yeah, exactly. And so at this point, I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm being censored. They don't want people, like the Pohlads obviously know their fans are upset and they don't want some negative press on them. So then I am going to try to somehow throw my signs into target field. And so I go to ramp B overlooking center field.
Committed.
And
very committed.
I'm determined.
You're going to do it.
And so I go up to ramp B all the way to the top level, and I get up there. I climb up the 6-foot wall, only to find out there's a 10-foot gap between the parking ramp and target field with about a 70-foot drop.
Whoa!
Right down. I'm like, I don't feel like dying, so I'm gonna climb down this wall and rethink my plan. So I'm just like, okay, I just need some tape because I'm gonna tape my signs together and make it one sign, make it the smiley face and the Twin Fans Matter. So I go to my friends at this bar down the street, and I go get some packaging tape, and I tape my signs together so the smiley face and the Twin Fans Matter sign is showing. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I go walk up to gate 34, right off the plaza, right behind Target Center and Target Field. And I walk up, and the security guard right away, what's your sign say? I showed him the smiley. He smiled again. I showed him the Twin Fans Matter. He kind of gave me a side smile, but he said it's not offensive. But then he saw the tape. He's like, what's in between here? And he starts crying it apart. I was like, nope. So I took my signs away from him, and I retreat. I was like, so close. So close.
Now we got to pause 1 second because we've called in an attorney to make sure that we're good with this. Michael Bryant is in studio. They wouldn't let him into the Twin Stadium just because. What did your sign say again?
So the one sign that they really did not like was the defund the Po, and it was PO.HLADS. So
police, Pohlads,
what's police? Yeah, yep. Play on words. So they would not allow that in. They did not like that sign.
Are you the guy with the Buxton sign?
No, I'm not, but I've met that guy. That guy's awesome too.
There's a guy who holds a sign on the number of days that he's injured.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah. I took a picture of him about a month ago with his holding his sign, and he always has his glove too, and he just looks very unhappy.
Yeah. What was the second sign?
So the second sign was the second sign they didn't like was penny pinching Pohlads equal twins mediocrity. They didn't like that. True. And then the other sign said Twins Fans Matter. And they did not exactly appreciate it, but it wasn't against their guidelines. It wasn't calling out ownership or anything, so they allowed that in.
Okay.
So so
I like
after I got denied from it's classic. Like I said, I can't take full credit for that. My buddy came up with the idea and I just ran with it. And so after I get denied from my third gate, it's like, okay, I'm so close. I got to get this. So I go to the 2 gates down. So I'm running out of gates. There's only 2 gates left to go.
Running out of gates.
And so I walk up to gate 14 and the same thing. The guy goes, what's your sign say? Smiley face. He smiled and showed the other sign that says Twin Fans Matter. He gave me a side eye. And then he looks like, well, what's this tape? Why is it taped together? And he starts peeling. I'm like, I just screwed up on one side and I didn't want to carry around 2 sides, so I just taped it together. And he looked at me, he's like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, have a great game. Go get
nice.
inside. I was like,
oh, God.
Yes.
Success.
After 45 minutes, I finally got in the stadium. So at this point, it's probably like the 3rd or 4th inning. I go grab a beer or 2 just to settle my nerves because I'm like, I'm a little worked up trying to get in there, So grab a beer or 2.
You're looking for snipers up on the upper decks. You don't know what's going to happen.
and the thing is, I have a season pass. It's standing room only. I'm not just a fan off the street. I've been to over 70 games the last 2 years. Like I love the Twins.
Wow.
I love the Twins. I'm not just a random fan that this is going to be a great idea to protest. No,
So
I'm invested.
You're not doing this for Insta fame.
Are you 500?
No. I went to 34 games this year, and I think my record was 18 and 14 or 18 and
16.
18 and 16 or something like that. Yeah, I was just over 500.
So you wouldn't have made the playoffs either.
Exactly. Nope. I definitely would not have made the playoff. And so Friday was actually the first game I went to in like 3.5 weeks because I was so upset at how they just were tanking. I was like, I don't want to see this pathetic team right now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm in the stadium, and like I said, I usually have standing room tickets, but because I knew I wanted to get some kind of notoriety or whatever with my signs, I wanted people to see me. I upgraded my seats to sit pretty much right over the visiting dugout in between home plate, like really low in the lower bowl.
Sure.
And so I get down to my seats probably about the 5th inning or so, and fans are like, and I sit down and like people are like, "What did you say?" And I showed them the smiley face and the Twins fan, and they're like, they're like, "That's fun, but like, man, I wish you were calling out the Pohlads or something." Like, little do you know, I am about to call out the Pohlads. And they're like, "No way!" And so the fifth and 6th innings, like I had people in my row like, "Hoist it up now, do it." I'm like, "No," because I know I'm going to probably get kicked out instantly when I show it. So after the 6th inning, I was like, "How am I going to display this? Do I display it here, or do I want to go up and go find another place?" But before I did that, I would so between commercial breaks, I would sit there with my Twins fans matter sign. I would stand up and I would just slow turn the entire commercial break with my sign, just showing Twins fans matter. Just slow. Just everyone was taking pictures, videos. People were high fiving me, applauding me, saying, "That's funny. That's awesome." So then I'm just like, all right, 7th inning stretch. I'm going to go up by Sue the Oregon Lady because if you've been to Twins games, you know that Sue the Oregon Lady is always on the Jumbotron right at the end of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Yep.
And so I'm like, that's my time to shine. So I go up there. I get up to Sue like right before they start doing the 7th inning stretch, and I get a front row seat right by her Oregon. I'm like, perfect. But then I got an obstacle because it's Oktoberfest, then an Oktoberfest band playing the song. I was like, oh my God, they're not going to put it on. I was just like, oh. But then right at the very end, Sue turns to her organ. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to get a solo and they're going to do it. So right when they pan to her, I put my sign up. I held it for about 5 to 10 seconds. And I was just like, after that, I was like, I got to get out of here because security is going to probably be up here any second. So I go out, leave the organ room. I go down the escalator, and I get down the escalator, and there's a couple security guys right there, and one of them goes, "There's that fucker right there."
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
It's okay. It's a podcast, so you're clear.
Okay, all right, sweet. And I go, and he goes, "Give me that sign." And I go, "No." And he's like, "Give me that sign again." I was like, "No, you're not taking my sign."
Wow.
And he goes, and then right at that point, he calls him back up. And when I say back up, he calls in the sheriff. So sheriffs
that's who comes in.
Yeah, they escort me out with sheriffs with AR. They don't have their guns drawn, but they're carrying AR-15s and escort me out of the stadium.
What the heck?
They
Over
got
a
flak
sign?
jackets and the whole deal.
Over a sign.
Yeah.
Over a sign. Yeah. And
priorities. Wow.
Yeah, and so then, and like I left without incident. I didn't swear. Like there's an article going around. Fox 9 News posted that they talked to the Twins spokesperson, and I was causing a scene inside the stadium around families, kids, and I was cussing them out inside the stadium. That did not happen. I'm going to set the record straight. That did not happen inside the stadium. Once I got outside the stadium, I got a little mouthy because I felt like I was being attacked because I was just, so I get outside and I started saying, I've been to 70 plus games the last 2 years. I'm invested. I just wish the owners were invested as I am. And I was saying, defund the Pohlads, either invest the team or sell the team. And I was just hooting and hollering and yelling and all this. And then at this point, a golf cart rolls up with a couple security guards on it.
God.
And then at, like 10 seconds after that, 10 security guards walk out of the stadium. And I was just like, and then right after that, 10 to 15 armed officers join them. So there's like probably 20, 25 security and officers outside.
So it was the time to
stadium.
rob the Twins.
Yeah, they were all paying attention to
That
him.
was the time.
I'm feeling
Because
a
they're
defamation lawsuit going
They
on.
were so worried about this guy with the sign and him protesting the Pohlads.
So have you got a
So
letter
that-
from the Twins yet?
No, I have not got a letter from the Twins. I'm
That-
waiting for like the Pohlad Secret Service to show up at my door.
Well, I
so.
bet you get a letter within the next 10 days.
It's
Yeah,
going to
so-
say
I
what?
don't
It's going
know.
to ban them from the stadium. I bet.
Yeah, they already did for 1 year,
You're
I
already
think.
banned,
Oh,
right?
they already told you that?
Yeah. So I'm getting to that point.
Just wait.
Okay, the
Just wait.
SWAT team's on him,
Hang
and
Yeah. And so after hooting and hollering for probably 5 minutes or so, they start approaching me, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not going to deal with this. And so I dipped out to the parking garage where my truck was, and I'm in there. I'm like, I'm not ready to go yet. I still have things I want to say. And so I ditched my wallet, my phone,
Mhm.
and like anything with the ID on me. I ditched it in my truck because I'm like, if they're going to try to arrest me or something for just something stupid, I don't want to have any identification on me. And so I ditched that. I go to the gate 34 on the other side of the plaza in between Target Field and Target Center, and I start hooting and hollering again. At this point, hundreds of fans are leaving, and they're joining along with me, like, fuck the Pohlads.
Oh.
fuck the Pohlads. Like, I have family, I have
Oh my
fans
gosh.
just high-fiving me, like, yeah, fight the good fight, all this stuff and everything. And then
Fight
all
the
of a
good
sudden,
fight.
so then right at this time, security comes again. And again, there's like 20, 25, like probably 10 officers, 15 security guards all come. And then
well, this
hooting and
one
hollering.
might
They
have
start-
been your fault.
This one might, yeah. I'm probably in the wrong.
But you're keyed up. You're keyed up.
I'm tuned up. I'm just ready. I'm just want my voice to be heard. And so then they start approaching me again, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna back. And I keep backing up, and I'm yelling the same thing that I've been yelling. And at this point, they snuck up a golf cart behind me, and I didn't realize it, and I literally fall into the golf cart with two security guards. And once I realized this, I try to scurry away quickly, and I got grabbed by three security guards, maybe even an officer. I can't remember, but three people grabbed me, pushed me up against the Target Center wall. I have bruises on my bicep from a security guard grabbing me, which they cannot do at all.
Nope.
And so there's video online of it. And they held me on my, like, pretty much held me hostage on this wall, questioning me and all this for about 20 minutes. They kept on they asked me for my name. I gave them a bogus name like 3 or 4 times.
What
And
was
I
the
know that
name?
you should-
Tom Bernard.
it was like Jonathan Early or something like that.
Well, you didn't use
I don't
my
know,
name.
like-
Thank God. That's good.
I did not use your name. Yeah, and so after about the 4th or 5th time of me giving bogus information, one of the officers was like, if you give one more false identification, we will arrest you. And I was like, all right, it's getting real.
So were they just security guards, or were the cops involved at this point too?
Yeah, cops. Yeah, so the guys who were asking me for my
Believe
name were
this?
cops at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this point, it was basically 2 or 3 sheriffs that were doing a lot of the talking, and the head of security, supposedly, who grabbed my arm and gave me bruises, who, for some reason, dropped his salary to name dropped his salary to me. He goes, "I'm on the payroll here for $1.2 million. I'm the head of security." I'm like, "Fuck you are. You do not get paid $1.2 million for doing security." I don't care what you say.
That seems to be a little off subject.
Yeah.
Why
Like,
are we talking about that?
You should have
They could've
taken
used
that
for
as
the
a
bullpen.
should have taken that as an opportunity to say you should have given that to a player that would have made it different.
That's
Yeah.
what I did. I said you should have gave that to the bullpen.
There you go.
We could have used it. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, and so finally they get my real name and everything. And at this point, like, I have security in my face, like taking my picture and everything. And at this time, people are still walking by and like taking pictures and video. I'm like, take my info down. My name is Michael Bailey, 720-492, whatever, my number. And
Yeah, if I'm
I
in the
gave him
gulag, come and find
like,
me.
all this. And so
Hell
yeah, and so then the one of the security guards came up to me and like, "Here's your 1-year ban from Target Field." I'm like, "For what? For bringing in the sign?" He's like, "For causing a disturbance." I'm like, "I'm not in the stadium. How can you ban me for not? I'm literally on Target Center property right now. I'm not even on Target Field property."
So
they get.
Where did this take place then? This last
Right
part.
Yes.
I was up against so right in between Target Field and Target Center. I was on Target Center, like my back was up against.
So over near
Target
the
Center
parking
wall.
lots? The entrance to
like
the parking
on-
lots where the
like
Kirby
6th Street.
Kirby Puckett statue is? Or the big glove?
Yes. Yep. Right in there. Right in that area. That plaza right there.
Okay.
Exactly. And so they hand me my citation, and I instantly rip it up into about 50 pieces right away. I just rip it, and I almost threw it up in the air, but then I was like, if I do that, they're going to arrest me for littering.
True.
I put it in my pocket, and I started walking towards my truck, and it was towards the target field. And the officer's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to my car. He's like, you can't go that way. This is target field property. You will be arrested for trespassing.
Oh my God.
Could you escort him to his car then, please?
Yeah, and so then I just walked all the way around Target Field, and I went to my car. But then there was a show at the Fillmore, and I went to the Fillmore for about 35 minutes, had a great night, ran into a bunch of friends. I didn't even get to really, and I told my friends all of what happened, and then from there, I just kept getting texts and emails and posts and like, dude, you're on the internet, you're all over. I was like, what is that? I was like, and then from there, it's just been a whirlwind weekend. So this is like, this has been my second-ish interview. I had one with Fox 9 yesterday that I didn't really appreciate, but
yeah, Fox 9, they're huge fans of mine too, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wish I would have did more research on them, but I feel like they were in kind of the Pohlads pocket when they interviewed me. So.
Yeah, no. Now, I got to bring up one thing.
I can't understand why it's not okay to criticize the ownership at a game.
Exactly. Because they know they're cheap. They know they're cheap.
Yeah.
They know
it's historical.
They haven't done anything. It's historical. They know they do the bare minimum. They think signing Carlos Correa to his contract. They're like, oh, Twins fans will be cool for another 10 years.
Yeah.
No. But like the Pohlads have 4 times more money than the Yankees. And yet our payroll is $130 million and the Yankees is $306.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm just like, I just don't understand the way the Pohlads think. I just don't get it.
I mean, they can regulate signs because they can regulate size of signs and what's on signs. I mean, that's something they've been allowed to do.
I mean, but this kind of response?
I know this is extreme. I mean, you probably would have been better off not going back when you went from your truck.
I understand.
But
I understand that. I do get that, but like I said, I just wasn't ready to be done being heard.
Yeah.
I wanted more fans to hear my story and everything. But like, if you look at the White Sox had a historically bad year. And this week they had a sign, not even a sign. It was like a 30-foot long poster of the owner with a big bozo nose on it to sell the team.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get that in?
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that work? And like, it looks like they didn't even get kicked out, and then I get kicked out for my defund the Pohlads.
Yeah, they also got fans, probably security guards, that are just as upset. Where you run in some security guards that just think they're all powerful because of the idea that
clearly,
they make $1.5 million.
$1.5 million. What the hell? That's pretty good. I gotta ask you something because I learned something, Michael, and I'm really glad you called in. I learned something about my own life that I never knew. In 1987, the Pohlads own the Minnesota Twins. They go to the World Series. Okay. First game of the World Series. Now, I don't know if you've been a listener over the years, but I will praise the Twins, but I'll also rip the hell out of them if I don't like something they're doing. That's just how I've always been, right?
Yep.
I just learned today. So you can't bring something to criticize the Pohlads, but at that game in 1987, almost 40 years ago, I'm sitting with my lovely wife, Catherine, at the game. We're sitting kind of right behind the plate. And I look up and somebody has a king-size bed sheet. Bed sheet.
That's how they did it in the 80s.
They unravel it and it says, and this was allowed, obviously, this was okay to bring into the stadium. I don't understand why. But on that bed sheet in huge letters, it says, Tom Bernard, IQ 92.
Yeah.
That's okay to bring in. That's all right. Don't worry about that.
Well, you're not a billionaire owner. So
I'm not a billionaire owner.
Fair game.
Yeah.
True.
That's I like that.
To me, it's like if I was a billionaire that owned a team, I'd be like, I could take a couple of punches here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could, I think it's okay for me to take a couple of punches, especially when I'm notoriously not paying for a team.
No, you're right.
like the Pohlads have very, very soft skin. They crawl behind their publicists and all that. And if you read their exit interviews, some of their, like, because I don't know if you follow Aaron Gleeman, he's like one of the big Twins beat writers, but he interviewed Pohlad, and like the questions that he was just like, so are you going to up the payroll? Are you going to do this? Fans aren't happy with everything. And basically he was just like, well, we treat it like a business. And if we don't make so much, they only use the money, what they make at Target Field to fund the team. And there's no cap. There's no cap in baseball.
No.
Like, fans want to see a winner.
Well, there's a luxury tax.
Exactly. And just fans are fed up. Just either invest in the team or sell the team. Like, do something. Like, I mean, it's been 33 years since we put a World Series team on the field. Like, do something.
Yeah.
And also, nepotism should not run my baseball team.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, like,
unless
they
it's
got
good
handed this
nepotism.
from daddy.
Unless
it's good nepotism. Exactly. Like,
I mean, if they know what they're doing, I don't care who the hell you are. So.
Yeah, but they obviously don't know what they're doing. They don't care about baseball. I bet they barely even go to any of the games, to tell you the truth.
Well, there isn't an owner's. Is there an owner's box? I don't think there's an owner's box at the stadium.
Oh, there's an owner's box.
Yeah,
there's definitely an owner's box.
Were
It's
you
right behind home plate.
Yeah.
Behind home
plate. And I've been told by people, like, they're there maybe half the time, maybe a little bit more. They definitely don't go to every game.
So is it near Thompson's Reuters suite up there, or is it higher than? Because there isn't a box above that. I'm trying to figure out where it would be. Because Thomson Reuters has the one right behind home plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I have one of my old coworkers said she used to be a server in the suite, and she said that she used to work in the Pohlad suite.
Huh.
So wherever, so I don't know. But the whole thing has been wild.
Keep us in the know about this whole deal. I want to know how it's going. And if you ever have to appear in court over it, ask them, why is it okay to insult Bernard, but not you?
I'm going to use that one.
I like it. That works for me. But now I am so glad you reached out to us, because obviously my connection to being a Twins fan since I was 9 years old, the Twins mean everything to me. And Catherine will tell you, I have not been in a great mood all year long over that team.
You're gonna, Michael, you're gonna love this. Tom watches the game. This has been the last 2 years. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch the Twins game. I hear the game. Yeah. I hear it turned off. Comes downstairs in a really horseshit mood. I can't watch this shit. 25 minutes later, he goes back up, and hopefully things are turning around. Watches for 10 more minutes, comes back down. Jesus Christ.
You didn't go to a single game this year, right?
Nope. First time in since I was 9 years old, I didn't go to a Twins game at all this year, which breaks my heart.
I won't be at Target Field next year, but I plan on going to road games, and I'm going to be holding the sign behind.
Start a parade around the stadium.
I'm gonna get season tickets at St. Paul Saints, because I'm not a fan from there. But I'm not gonna bring a sign to the Saints game, but I will bring it to road games. But like you, Tom, I love the Twins. I've been going to Twins games since I was like 3 or 4 years old at the Metrodome with my grandpa. Like, my grandpa taught me how to keep book when I was like 6 or 7 years old. It was the one common bond we had, like, you know.
Wonderful.
And my grandpa is no longer. He's passed away about 10 years ago. I swear he was cheering me on from the heavens when he saw what was going on Friday night.
See.
Like, I love the Twins with all my heart. I just wish the Pohlads loved them as much as their fans do.
I would have to agree with you. If you go to a Viking game this year, if you could take my Tom Bernard IQ 92 banner and hang it out again, that'd be wonderful. That would be great.
I'll keep you posted if I do that. The only Vikings game I plan on going to this year is the Kirk Cousins game, because I want to sit behind the Falcons bench and harass Kirk Cousins.
All right, well, stay in touch, though. I want to know if there are any developments or anything like that. We want to hear about it. Thank you so much for reaching out.
You definitely will. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for letting me tell my story.
It's a great story.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
See, if I were owner of the team, I'd probably hire him. It's like, you're that pissed off about my team.
Does he have a lawsuit here? Can you be slammed up against the wall for a stinking sign and I'm a mad, he wasn't hurting anybody. And then who all of a sudden told everybody that he was swearing and a threat to people around him?
Yeah,
who said that?
If people are saying that and using his name, then there's issues about what exactly he did and what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's the problem is when he went back and people are yelling, fuck the Twins or fuck the Pohlads.
Well, that's not his fault.
Well, but if he's inciting that, that's the problem, but when the security guy yells, fuck you, that's a fucking guy, there's more kids around him. At that
Right.
point.
Yeah. Right.
So there's all sorts of issues there. The question, but his damages would go towards being banned. They probably have a right to ban him. It's, what are the bruises, what effect it has on him, if it affects him really, if he loses a job because of it, what the losses are. It's just too bad because, part of it is, I don't know that the Pohlads were directly involved in what happened to him at the place.
Well, talk about an overreaction.
Yeah,
10
absolutely. Yeah,
officers with guns.
Yeah, I that seems like a lot to be, there.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 at Timberwolves games, but that's a lot. And you get security guards that just think they got a lot more power than they do, and that's way overreaction for a sign about something that most people would probably agree with as far as Twins fans go.
Yeah.
I want to know when they're going to apologize for IQ 92. That's what I want to know.
You're waiting for that.
Well, but see, truth is an ultimate defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That's exactly right. See, I got to be honest with you. If you care that much about my team, I'd welcome you into the stadium.
Yeah, that's he cares about the team.
He does.
And
there's no doubt.
Well, and people have been complaining about this for decades. It's not like this is new at all.
And you've had problems with attendance this year, and he's gone to lots of games, so it's sad and it's way overblown. And I don't know, but I think he added to it when he went back. So
going back, maybe.
That's why I figured he'd get a letter, but they banned him right there. They had it ready to go when he came back.
You're banned.
Yeah,
You're banned for a year. You can't come back.
I always wonder how effective those bans are when they ban somebody for a year.
How do they know? I mean, how
do you
couldn't
know?
I just buy him a ticket and bring him in as my friend and he's shaved his beard? I mean, who's going to know?
Yeah, I would guess.
I know. I'm like, Dan buys our tickets when we go. If I were banned, how would anyone know that I was there?
That's true.
Yeah.
In that place, I don't know.
They probably have 10 most wanted down at the security stations.
When they check your ID, if you buy like a drink or something, it's some kid standing in front of the stand looking at you. They don't know who you are.
No.
I wonder how many people are actually banned. I wonder what the number is.
That is a good question.
Or is it like 3 people?
I wonder who would know that.
I'm sure security knows.
Well, security definitely knows it, no doubt about that.
Well, every time I've ever gone to a game and sat in the general seats, I'm like, could you please ban that drunk behind me who's going to puke on me any minute because he's so hammered, please? Ban those guys.
There's more security now because of Homeland Security. Yeah. And that's gotten into games now. So there's other stuff that they have there that with the monitoring, with the security you go through, but I don't know. And it depends on how many people there is. If it's just him or if it's, thousands of people.
Right.
I don't know.
I was like, defund the Pohlads. That is like the best.
Defund the Pohlads.
It's amazing if he's still going to be a Twins fan.
He loves the team just like me.
But I think I might make a turn. I think I might go find me another squad.
Might be time.
It might be time.
Well, I was thinking about that. I mean, all these years, Tom was on the air, KQ, and he was always very, very passionate about sports.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times has it been, you're Tom Bernard. We stopped listening to you back in 1994. Oh, okay. What happened? Well, he said that Joe Mauer was a candy ass. Mm-hmm. I've never forgiven him for that because he was our favorite player. And I'm like, mom? That's all that it takes is calling a player a candy ass, and you're just, what? I mean, seriously, but that's how sports fans are. They're very passionate, and they can be a little weird.
Yeah.
I wish
Joe Bauer's a candy ass. I've never forgiven him. Really?
this town would have been totally deflated if the Packers had come back yesterday. So,
oh my God, do you believe they got 28 points and score 3 more points the rest of the game in 3 quarters?
Yeah, but they were playing a good team. That's the thing. I mean, it's not like they're playing a bad team, but that was almost But I don't know if you watched the night before the Alabama-Georgia game. Holy moly, that was an incredible game. You know.
Well, I don't watch the Gophers, believe me. I'm not watching that squad.
Yeah.
That guy, how much longer can he have a job?
They covered.
Yeah, they did. They lost by 3.
And the way the coach is jumping around, I think he had the points.
He had the points for a lot of money. That's a possibility, That is, you can't just write that off.
That is true.
I don't know. Sports are a whole different. Look, if the guy's that big into sports, so what? Defund the Pohlads. I think that's funny.
Yeah,
he's a defund Tom. I go, yeah, come on in. That's great.
I don't completely understand why not letting that sign in.
I don't either.
Especially when so many people agree to it. It's not like if somebody's coming in with something that most people don't agree with. There's big question about what's going on with them.
You can't, drop the F-bomb on there and all the rest of it, but the rest of it, defund the Pohlads is funny. Mm-hmm. Why would you be upset by that?
Yeah, but the Buxton guy had problems with the sign that said how many injuries.
Yeah,
injuries that
he did.
Buxton has, and it's true. It's a question.
It is.
But I mean, the whole idea that you can't go and question what's going on with players or with teams. I know. Well, but they've gotten to the point where they throw people out of Timberwolves games because something happens with somebody at the visitors bench. I watch a couple people get thrown out. Yeah, where one of the coaches for the other team turned around and said the F word to a fan and then went to the ref and got him thrown out.
What?
Yeah, it was just because he was being criticized. And
that's it?
Yeah, I understand. God. I understand if they're out of hand or if they're drunk or if you're just yelling because of problems with the team or because of issues that come up, I don't see how that's not being a fan, especially as much money as you're paying to be there.
Didn't Jack Nicholson used to scream at the players all the time? He's
absolutely, but he's Jack Nicholson. How'd you like to be the one who threw Jack
Nicholson out?
Good luck with that.
That probably wouldn't go too well.
Well, you used to like to go to the Twins games and haze them.
Oh God, I hazed the piss.
That was your whole day.
It was wonderful. It was my whole life. Marty Langow and me, we go after him like there's no tomorrow.
You never got kicked out?
In that stadium you were talking about.
You never got kicked out, right?
I never got kicked out, no. One of my favorites of all time, though, they had the old chain link fence out in left field at the old Metropolitan Stadium. And the guy drank so many beers that he stuck the bottom of the beer cup through the little squares.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the game, it said, Rudy sucks.
Was that Rudy?
Joe Rudy.
Oh, Joe Rudy. Oh,
Joe
Rudy,
Rudy.
The outfielder. Wow.
Rudy sucks. And of course, he's standing there right in front of a sign that says Rudy sucks.
Well, there we go. There's another way of doing it.
You can get around it.
I mean, it's funny, for God's sake. Let's have some fun. You want to put up a sign that says Tom Bernard IQ 92? Good for you.
Well,
I think it's funny.
And being upset about your team is valid.
That's
okay.
Yeah. They didn't make playoffs. There's not things to be excited about. You're not showing up and being unreasonable.
And they collapsed to not make the playoffs too. That's the other. They were supposed to make the playoffs and they just fell apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look, I love the Twins. I will always love the Twins, but I'm going to criticize the hell out of them because I paid for all of. You didn't give me free tickets.
My right.
Yeah. What?
It's your right to criticize them.
If I paid for it, absolutely. I'm paying to get in. You give me free tickets. It's different.
So when you buy a ticket, is it on the website, all of the things that you can and cannot do?
Probably.
It's probably like fine print in there.
We used to have an actual physical ticket that would say those things, but now that it's all
on your phone,
internet, it's on your phone. You don't even have real tickets anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
there's not even everything's on your phone.
Pretty soon they'll just have a profile on you. Oh, you're too crazy. You can't buy a ticket.
Yep. Yeah. Since she's not bringing it up, my lovely wife over there once almost got us kicked out of a stadium, Roger Dean Stadium in Florida.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, no, not almost kicked out.
Who was warming up on the
pool hole?
Oh, yeah. You didn't almost get us kicked out.
I did.
No,
she was there. The two of us.
No, I was there.
Yeah, so was Becky.
Yeah.
She
No,
came
we were
this
warming
close.
up and she said, Pohlads? What kind of a name is Pohlads?
What kind of name is Pool?
And he looked at
his
her and
shoulders
was
just
like-
kept going up and up, and he was getting really pissed.
He was
off.
no,
Well,
I
he was
think it
about
was-
10 feet from her.
I'm not-
Poo hole? What
sometimes
kind of
I'm-
name is Poo
Sometimes
hole?
I'm not Minnesota nice.
Yeah, sometimes you're not. Absolutely.
Sometimes.
God,
This is Albert, the
Okay, I have
first
to go.
baseman. She was yelling at.
He was
Yep.
he was
Yep.
in it was a AAA.
Oh, you got to go. That's
League or
right.
something.
Okay,
He
we'll
must have
see
been-
you
he was in the
on
minors, I
Wednesday.
He must have been playing because he was hurt.
So you got to do a
Let's
report.
wait. Yeah.
You
It was a while ago.
You got to do a 1 minute report on going on the boat yesterday. We rented a boat yesterday and went on Minnetonka. What a gorgeous day!
Oh,
And
it was
hardly,
lovely.
yeah, and after Labor
was
Day, there's
lovely.
hardly anybody on the lake. It's
Really?
really nice.
They're not all out.
Yeah.
Still
No.
going.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
was great.
Highly
We
recommend.
ran into what 30
21
loons?
loons.
21
I think we
loons.
Oh
counted.
yeah, it's really cool. to see them
21
all.
of them. I
God.
never saw so many loons in one spot.
It was just
Did you get my
beautiful.
email?
Probably.
Good. Okay.
I'll look at it today. I don't
Okay.
look at emails on weekends.
All right, so you did. The kids had a ball.
They had a great time. Yes.
They really did.
Yeah.
Well, Seiji came and chased me down to give me a kiss, and he was that grateful.
He was very
Nice.
excited.
He was
Both-
very
We
excited.
both had a great time.
Cool.
Okay.
And Fawny was too. Big hug.
Gotta
All right, we'll
go
talk to
help
you
teach
on
first
Wednesday.
graders how to read.
Take
Yes.
the headset
Why
off
don't you
before you
treat-
walk away.
Why don't you teach 12th graders how to read? Because 55% of them don't know how to
Yeah.
read
You
anymore.
might want to.
Well, these kids that I'm going to be with
They're
today
gonna
will
learn how
read,
to
by
read.
golly. Sage
Yeah.
is the best reader in the class. So
Yay.
I
There you
will
go.
be.
According to Sage, he's the best at everything ever.
Yes,
So-
that is true.
I love. He's 6 years old.
Okay,
and
I
he
have
he
to go.
says things
All
like,
I always say.
No.
he says,
There we go.
I always say, because I'm like, should we go faster on the boat? He's like, I always say faster is better. I'm like, do you? At 6,
Do
you've
you?
already got catchphrases.
Yeah,
He's like
good.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby,
Yeah,
there
Ricky
you go.
Bobby.
I
So,
always say.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Got enough bags?
I
with
get a
you?
car today. Woo-hoo.
Yes, and I get to take her over there to do it. Actually, she's going to drive, and then I'll just hop
I
in my
can't
own
wait to have a car again.
car. I haven't driven a car in about 6 days now.
Who's been driving?
No, he's
Catherine.
just exaggerating. We've barely been driving
Mhm.
anywhere, but
I just said I haven't driven in 6 days. That's not a
my
exaggeration.
car's been at someplace. They towed it. I
They
had
towed it.
I had a railroad spike in my tire.
Oh, ouch. A railroad, an actual spike?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
guess so.
Wow.
He's like, I've never seen this before.
Wow.
Go
I
on,
wonder
yeah.
where you'd be that you
Kinda-
get a railroad spike.
I must have just driven over some tracks and it
No,
had
I
one
think a
sticking
kid
up weird
did-
or something.
I
don't
think
know.
a kid did it on purpose.
Because I mean, if that was on the road, I would see it.
Yeah,
right?
You'd think.
I would
Yeah,
think,
you'd
and why that would be on a road wouldn't make
Mhm.
any sense.
But why would it be up? But it was actually in the tire?
It was in the tire.
It was in the tire.
Huh. That'd
Yeah.
be weird. You'd pull it up from a railroad
So
track.
they tried to plug it and it wouldn't hold a plug, so they had to. And one tire, $505.
Yeah, I believe that.
One
$500 for a
flippin' tire.
What the hell?
I cannot believe a tire costs that much money.
Defund Firestone.
I'm like, can't you retread it or something, man? This is terrible. $500.
And
All right.
Tim Laudner wouldn't let you fix it for her, huh?
Oh, no. Laudner. I will never forget getting a flat tire. I said, oh, I'll go change. He goes, you're not changing the tire that I'm riding in the car. Oh, okay.
Do you even know? No, you don't know how to change
No
it,
clue.
no.
That's why you get that.
You've never
Oh.
changed a tire?
God,
Ever?
No.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, if you buy a new car, chances are you don't have a spare tire.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
That's like
people
that's something you have to order.
yeah. Because I'll when I see people stopped, I'll sometimes stop if I got time. I'll stop and help them.
Sure.
And the last time I stopped for a guy, we could not figure out how the hell. We had the book out, we had everything. We were googling it. You could figure out how the hell to take the tire. And finally, after a while, I'm like, you got to call somebody because
Yeah.
this is beyond
Got
my.
no
Yeah,
clue.
we
Yeah,
rented
no clue.
we rented a truck when we were out in Montana. We got a dreadful flat tire in a really bad
Up
spot.
the side of a mountain.
If there weren't a couple of people just sitting,
From
like looking at the
Oregon.
view, if they hadn't helped us, we would have had to call the rental company and said, come and rescue us, because it was this whole thing. You had to put together this long thing to put into the bumper to jack
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
the
And it was
long, yep. Well,
it was insanely difficult.
mhm.
I was like, good thing this isn't the night time where you wouldn't have been able to read the manual
Right,
or windy or a
right.
storm. we'd been screwed.
So did you just sit back and sit in the car and wait?
Yep. Just going, hey, good job.
I think Tom interviewed them a couple of times.
Yeah, I had them on the show. As a
they
matter
were
of fact,
so nice. They were
nice.
so nice.
I guess they still listen to the show. So
you told me about that couple at some point. That I'm pretty sure you told me about that.
Very,
unbelievable. That was like, we were like, how hard is this? It took all of us. We were all like, okay, so what do you think this means? And we're like trying to connect all this stuff. I mean, it was for, relatively educated human beings that should be able to change a tire.
Relatively.
But they make it hard, and you can't. You got to hire somebody to bring somebody in because they make more money to fix it and do it.
It's ridiculous.
And car parts on some of these things are incredible as far as how expensive they are for little things.
Oh, our neighbor, we were out with our neighbors from Habitat Court, and Jeff has a Land Rover. And he said that there's this gasket that costs $5,000 to replace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gasket that's got this oil thing that runs through it and all this stuff, and it's $5,000 to replace.
Well, you probably have to disassemble the entire car.
Why do they make everything so ridiculously hard to deal with?
And they make a lot of money, or they trying to figure out how to get less weight. They create these
it's like the iPhone. Everything is the famous story, I don't think it's true, but the famous story is that Steve Jobs used to drop the iPhone prototypes in water. And if he saw bubbles, he'd say, do it again. Because that means there's air left in there and you could cram some more crap in there.
Wow.
Cars are the same way. Their engine compartment is just so full of stuff now. You can't access most of it.
Oh, yeah, probably true.
Not without, you have to lift out the engine in some cases just to repair some basic wiring. And it's not a cheap process.
Nope.
It's all true. We can close with this. I got a call. I can't say who it is, obviously, because I'm going to talk about their net worth, but I got a call this morning during the show from a friend of ours who's a billionaire.
We have a billionaire friend?
You got more than one.
Oh.
Is he running for president?
Ask not.
He didn't call for dough, did he?
No, he did not call for it. Matter of fact, he called for the exact opposite. He called, and I don't know where he came up with this idea.
The exact opposite. We calling you up to give you money. But
I'm thinking
I'm just sick of holding all this money.
Little people chirping out there right over the weekend or whatever, because he called and asked me if he bought KQ, if I would come back and do the morning show.
Oh, wow.
What? How much is KQ worth?
I won't say it on the air, but I bet your first requirement what it would be.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're saying.
Goodbye to some people.
How about all people?
Well, with their ratings, it can't be worth that much.
Well, that station can't be worth anything anymore.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Unless it's a loss to them, maybe.
Yeah, they write it off as a loss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The highest rated morning show in America when they took over.
Yeah, well.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But
I
did
everything you could.
Yeah, absolutely. But apparently not enough. If I'd only drank another quart a day like they do.
All right.
All right, boy, look at the time.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get 12 security guards in here.
Yeah. Where's the SWAT team when you need them?
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.
Bye.
Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking.